Okay. So in this session we will talk about how you turn an idea into something that people want and actually willing to pay for it. Okay. So this is the topic of this session: innovation to impact. It contains 3 points: is polarization, value proposition, and business model fit. So let's see this as a flow chart of how you turn an idea into something valuable for market and for society. Okay, so this is how we move. It contains 5 subtopics. Why validate? Okay, you have some idea. You have to validate it before you directly invest something on that, like money or labor. Okay, so then we will talk about the benefits, then prototype validation, value proposition, and business model validation. Okay, let's move. So we have heard about that many of the startups starts and it fails. Okay, that sales number at 42%. 42% of the startup starts and fails. Not because they because of bad execution, not because of they have run out of money, but because of what their idea is not fit for market. Okay, what they are proposing is not required. Okay. So these 3 things which every startup, this misconception is going on. Like effort feels like progress. When you get the example and doing something project and you don't want the outcome to be validated, and you are moving wrong direction. Okay. So before you deliver something or propose something, just validate with your friends, with a group of people, okay, before investing everything. And second assumption is that second pitfall is assumption aren't facts. Okay? You assume there is a problem, but have you validated? Have you cross-verified? Is actually a problem or not? Okay, third is early tests are cheap tests. Okay, you have heard about it. Then in software engineering, when we propose an idea or we are going for a project, then we start with we start on a paper, like paper and pen, then move it on different architectures. Spiral architecture, if you heard about it, then that's nice. But so if you test early, before implementing it, if you test your product, then that's cheap. And if you test at the pivot point, after hiring people, after implementing everything, then you test it, then that will be a costly one. Okay, so the 3 framework. So how you will validate your idea? Whatever your idea is, how you are going to validate it. So we will move this 3 framework. So the first bit is problem solution fit. Second is product market fit. The third is business model fit. So what is problem solution fit? So this first one is, have you understand the problem statement well? Okay, any startup is going to solve some problem of society or any problem in the domain which you are going to close your startup. Okay, so have you understand the problem statement well enough? And second is product market fit. What you are providing is actually needed. If what you are providing is not needed, then your product will fail. Okay. And third is business model fit. If you are delivering something and which is not sustainable, then that will also with the time it will lose your customers and Okay, so let's start with low fidelity learn fast. Start low fidelity and learn fast. This is known as a fidelity ladder. Okay, if you are delivering something, telling something, then you start with this sketch first ladder. Sketch paper. You write something, and if you are starting something, then start as rough and as cheap as possible. Okay? You draw something on a piece of paper, and if you find something not wrong, you are going to draw it. Then again draw. That's a very cheap way of doing it. Okay? Then you move to clickable wireframe. What's that? It's not actual code, but it's a flowchart, so that you can check my flow of the project is going well or not. Okay. And third is function prototype. You make a prototype of something, a low cost prototype, and then test with some testing environment. Testing environment, suppose I give 2 people and ask for their feedback on the prototype. If they are good, if they are finding something, then I listen to them. If they are delivering something good, then I will accept it. Okay. Then the last is our MVP, most valuable product. Then the best version of the prototype you will deliver in the market. Okay. That's how the business works in market. So the validation method for 2 weeks. So we have several validation methods. First is customer interview. We directly interact with customer and ask for their review. Here is our product good. What problem you are facing? What are the things that are frustrating you? Okay, these are the things in customer interview. Use our testing. You set up some testing environment for your product. And then test on different scenarios and check whether your product is working as expected or not. Okay. Third is A/B testing. What's that? Compare two versions of your product with some different codes. Okay. You prepare one version of the product and another version of the product with something different. Let's tweak the version with and then compare what's the output. What's the output of these two products and what's the output of the customer. Okay. Then fourth one is wizard of POSIT. If you heard about some gaming environment, then you have got this stuff POSIT. Okay, what's that? Simulating packet. It's a manual test. Like if you are new in the industry, then you don't set up a good team for managing the packet. You manage it manually. Okay, until the load, the footfall comes on your site or any project, till then you manage your backend manually. Okay, and the last is concierge MVP. So delivering the service by hand, one customer at a time. Okay, I directly go to the customer, deliver my product, and ask for their review. Okay, then my customer and client from straight. Okay. So we move to the value using canvas. So it has two sides, customer profile and value map. Okay. So in customer profile we have jobs, change and their gains. What job this product serves, what pain the customer is facing, and what are the gains for them. Okay. And on the client end, which is developer end, we have product and services, like what our product is. If we suppose we are delivering an app, okay, we are going to publish an app, then we don't need to demonstrate them. Okay, let people use them and then let them find out what the problem they are facing and what we are proposing them. Okay, what we are offering them. Okay, and if they are getting frustrated, then we relieve their pain. We understand their problem and then we try to solve their problem. Okay. And the gain creator, like if they, suppose I will give you an example of clothing industry. If a new brand comes, then it gives some offers with discounts to sell their products and build the trust in their customers. Okay, so that's gain creator. And in between is some bit. So there is a two-way communication between customer and developer or the client. Okay. How do you know you have fit? Okay. So we have some signal for fit and some signal for unfit. So customer, if your product is fit, then customer will pay without heavy discounting. Okay. You get for organic referrals. What is organic referral? Like people to people referral. My product is good, then see you say good, then see refer to someone else, our friend or our family. Okay, that's organic referral. And engagement and retention stays high over time. If I have some customer, then it will stay with me for a longer time than time for a fit product. Okay, and last is very important. Customer gets upset if you are going to shut down your or end your product. Okay, and the signal for not fit are the sales cycle are long and full of objections. Sales are not very good and customers are not very happy with your product. And prospect asks for many custom changes. Like if you are delivering the product and customer is asking for continuous changes, customization in your product, then it's a sign that your product is not fit for them. Okay. And if you ask for your feedback for your product, if you ask someone for feedback, and if it says it's nice to have, then it's not a sign that they are going to convert or they are going to buy your subscription or they are going to use your product for a long time. Okay. These are the three lenses for business model: desirability, feasibility, and viability. Okay. So what is desirability? What customer wants. You are delivering something which customer wants, but you don't want to deliver something which customer don't want. Okay, feasibility. You can actually build the product or you cannot. Okay, with your resources, with your human labor, and with your cost efficiency. At last, you are a business entity, so you have to think about your capital. And last is viability. Is your business making sense? Is your business making sense for the customer or not? Or you are making something fancy which is not required. Okay, so some common pitfalls and best practices. So first one is falling in love with solution, not the problem. Okay, that's the one part of your idea. That you are very enthusiastic about your idea and guessing that everyone will like it. Okay, that's not a good sign. These are some common pitfalls that I need to introduce. So, best practice is to talk with some people, at least 10 plus people, and they would be strangers, not your friend. Okay? Okay, next point is that only. Validating only with friends, family, and teammates. That's another pitfall. You validate your product with your teammates, family, friends, and they are biased towards your product. But they don't want you to, they don't want that you may end up with product in bad manner. Okay, so then try to test willingness to take early, not just interest. If you will try to test your product with strangers, not your friends and families, so that they can give you actual feedback. What problem they are facing and what they are finding it good. Okay. Receiving the so-called test on server data. That's another big one. You have some server data here and you are testing on that. If you are on third year and you are in chemical, so you have heard about best overflow and underflow algorithm. Okay. So when you test something on your server data or survey data is not server data. So when you test something on your survey data, then it's you only rely on that data, not an actual market. The actual market is very different from survey data. When you ask for something, when you ask someone, will you buy our product, then they have at that time they will say yes or no. But when it actually comes to buy, when it actually comes for them to buy, then they might not buy. Okay. So for that, track your behavior, track the behavior of their customer and capture the claim for your product. When you advertise something, when you are going to launch something, then you obviously advertise it on some platform. So capture and analyze the case and how much people are engaging with your product. Okay. Thinking on now customer as the pure market. That's another pitfall. Treating one particular class of customer as your main customer area or customer niche of customer. Okay. So for that, iterate the canvas as often as you iterate the code. So you will try to iterate your You will try to sell your product with different needs of people. Okay? So that's the takeaway from this session. Validate assumption before you stage investing guidance and move in order with problem statement, product market, and then business model. And then prototype, that is cheaply test before investing something, and then let evidence, not enthusiasm, try the pivot or result for. Okay, thank you.